This woman, a real hunter named Han Qing, is the assistant to the Huajing Group's chairman, Si Qian. Han Qing's alluring charm lured Si Qian into her love trap, but she also couldn't escape him. It all started 3 months ago. Han Qing was an expert in handling affairs, helping wives save their marriages or get the best possible settlement in a divorce. Duan Yi, Si Qian's wife, hired Han Qing to gather evidence of his infidelity. She wanted at least half of Si Qian's assets. Seeing Duan Yi's injuries, Han Qing agreed to take down this abusive husband. Huajing Group has assets of about 100 billion yuan. To get close to the chairman, Han Qing applied to be his assistant. Si Qian fired his previous assistant right away, and Han Qing sarcastically thought he looked down on his employees. But she's not like others. She'll do anything for the right cause, so Si Qian would definitely need her. Si Qian said he liked strong women like her, and Han Qing really liked her boss's fighting spirit. He decided to hire her as his assistant, on the condition that she changed her lipstick color. A top hunter, Han Qing believed no matter how well disguised, no man could beat the big prey right in front of him. Hearing that the secretary, Zhao Deng, had important documents belonging to Si Qian, Han Qing gave her a necklace to get the documents. Han Qing brought the documents to Si Qian for his signature. Seeing his pen was out of ink, she lent him hers, but flirted with Si Qian while doing so. Han Qing thought Si Qian underestimated her, and that's why he wasn't giving her work. She figured he preferred someone who could help him. Si Qian invited her to a business dinner that night. Han Qing told her client she'd successfully approached Si Qian. She said she'd soon achieve her goal. Seeing Si Qian, Han Qing claimed she'd just been on the phone with her father. Si Qian's business partner, Huang Zong, refused to cooperate, so Han Qing quickly stopped him. She detected a perfume on Huang Zong that smelled like the scented candles on Si Qian's desk. She revealed that the candle company, though small, was linked to many overseas assets. It turned out this company was Huang Zong's business partner. He decided to sign the contract with Si Qian. Han Qing got Si Qian drunk and took him home. She wandered around his house taking pictures, and Si Qian caught her. Han Qing claimed she was looking for an earring. It was actually in Si Qian's pocket. When he asked if she smelled his perfume, Han Qing leaned in close to Si Qian. She smelled the bitter scent of sandalwood and the sweetness of cardamom. This showed that Si Qian, while outwardly refined, was inwardly cautious, like walking on thin ice. Si Qian admitted Han Qing was interesting, but her attire wasn't like a secretary's. Han Qing assured him that if he didn't like it, she'd change. She'd meet his every demand. Si Qian threatened Han Qing. He claimed he'd never made a mistake for any woman and didn't want to see her seduce him again. Finding Duan Yi, Han Qing questioned why such a cautious Si Qian would hit his wife. Duan Yi revealed Si Qian was a hypocrite, using subtle tactics to control people's hearts. Initially, he married Duan Yi to take over Huajing from her father. Si Qian presented a gentle image to the media to hide his domestic violence. Fearful Si Qian would hit Duan Yi again, Han Qing promised to expose his hypocrisy. Reporting for work, Han Qing ran into Zong Yi. She knew he was Si Qian's business rival and his wife's cousin. Meeting Si Qian, Zong Yi hinted he wanted shares in Wan Li real estate. Seeing Han Qing's beauty, Zong Yi thought Si Qian didn't need his wife because of her. Si Qian told Han Qing to see the guest out. In the elevator, Zong Yi suggested a friendship with Han Qing, but she flatly refused, out of respect for Si Qian. Meanwhile, Duan Yi's father called his daughter home. He questioned why she hired an assistant for Si Qian. Duan Yi claimed she wanted to help her husband with his work. Duan Yi's father also suggested she have a child after a few years of marriage. Hearing Si Qian say Zong Yi was interested in her, Han Qing thought Si Qian felt the same. She believed successful men viewed wife and children, and violence, as minor issues. But for women, marriage was a lifetime commitment. They prioritized love. However, Han Qing promised to help Si Qian hide his weaknesses, preventing others from gaining leverage over him. Si Qian advised Han Qing to be careful, and then pushed her away. Han Qing accompanied Si Qian to a business meeting. While waiting for him, Han Qing unexpectedly received a slap from Su Li. Han Qing slapped her back. It turned out Su Li was a mistress Han Qing had previously dealt with. She warned Su Li not to mess with her. or she wouldn't survive in Jiangcheng. Seeing Xiqian, Han Qing quickly made peace with Su Li. Wang Zong told his mistress to apologize to Han Qing. Xiqian heard Su Li say Han Qing's nickname was the Fox Lady. Han Qing told him if he was curious about her past, he should ask her directly instead of listening to gossip. He complimented her fighting style. She, in turn, was curious about how he hit women. Xiqian said women were meant to be cherished. Pulling Han Qing closer, Xiqian gently applied ice to her face. He admitted she had a high capacity for harming men. Seeing Xiqian's restraint, Han Qing doubted he was capable of hitting a woman. She thought she needed to use some tricks to expose his flaws. Han Qing went to Xiqian's house to seduce him, knowing he was only married to his wife. Xiqian asked if Han Qing still didn't understand him. Han Qing slowly covered Xiqian's eyes with her tie. Seeing him hug her tightly, Han Qing smugly thought she'd caught her fish. Just then there was a knock at the door. She quickly fled his embrace. It was Zhang Yi. Seeing the tie on the floor, he reminded Xiqian that Duan Yi was waiting for him at home. Xiqian advised Zhang Yi to mind his own business. He revealed he'd offered a higher price than Zhang Yi to buy Wan Li real estate. Zhang Yi was furious that the meat on the chopping block had been stolen by Xiqian. Seeing Han Qing leave, Xiqian hoped she wouldn't seduce him again. He warned her to hide her foxtail. Well, otherwise, he wouldn't be lenient. Don't think those seductive eyes could turn you into a vixen. Between them, who was toying with whom was yet to be seen. Zhang Yi had secretly overheard everything outside. He waited for Han Qing to make his move. Rejected by her, Zhang Yi grabbed Han Qing. Xiqian came out and pulled Han Qing inside. He questioned why, after failing to seduce him, she turned to Zhang Yi. Han Qing retorted that Xiqian had called her a vixen, and now was angry that she was seducing someone else. What was the meaning of that? Xiqian revealed he'd investigated her work as a hunter of cheating husbands' mistresses. He asked her intentions in approaching him. Han Qing said that if he already understood her, he shouldn't have brought her here. Xiqian pulled her close, commenting that her appearance wasn't that of a secretary. Unable to control himself, Xiqian kissed Han Qing repeatedly. This scene was recorded and sent to Duan Yi. She was elated and happily spent the night with her lover. Seeing Xiqian push her away, Han Qing hurriedly ran off. Calling Duan Yi, Han Qing said Xiqian knew her plan. Remembering Xiqian's demeanor, Han Qing saw him as completely different from Duan Yi's description. Han Qing's father called, demanding money to bail him out of a casino. He mentioned that it was Han Qing's mother's death anniversary, so she shouldn't upset her. Han Qing was disappointed that her father didn't remember. It was also her birthday. In the car after work, Xiqian wished Han Qing a happy birthday, moving her greatly. Meeting Duan Yi, Han Qing said she was ending the case because Duan Yi had lied. She believed Xiqian wasn't the abusive husband Duan Yi described. Duan Yi sneered that Han Qing was trying to fake a relationship with her husband. She recounted how Xiqian had used every trick to approach her father. And Han Qing was just like him, only knowing how to deceive people. Duan Yi threatened Han Qing with her gambling-addicted father. She forced Han Qing to get Xiqian's signature, or she would call loan sharks to make her father pay the ultimate price. She wanted to reclaim the Huajing group, which rightfully belonged to her. In the parking garage, Han Qing saw Duan Yi in her lover's car, quickly snapping a picture of their intimacy. Han Qing received a call reporting trouble at Huajing, and Xiqian was missing. A cable car at the Wanli real estate project had broken, resulting in serious casualties. The cable car had been purchased with Xiqian's signature. Han Qing decided to face the media on Xiqian's behalf. When a reporter questioned Huajing's use of old cable cars, leading to the collapse, Han Qing countered that the incident had just happened. There was no official information, and that the reporter was falsely accusing Huajing of using old equipment. Furthermore, the business cooperation between Huajing and Wanli Real Estate was confidential. The group would investigate who leaked the information to the media. Han Qing insisted Xiqian was cautious and wouldn't harm himself. Someone was deliberately framing Huajing. It turned out Zhang Yi was the mastermind behind the incident. At the construction site, Xiqian was confronted by the victims of the cable car accident, demanding compensation. Han Qing intervened, and a worker, enraged, threw a brick at Si Qian. Han Qing fearfully embraced Si Qian. Taking Si Qian home to recover, Han Qing was touched that he knew her intentions, but still protected her. Duan Yi texted, urging Han Qing to take the stamp while Si Qian was injured. She also sent a picture of Han Qing's father to threaten her. For her family, she had to betray Si Qian. Han Qing went to the study to find the stamp. She accidentally saw Si Qian and Duan Yi's divorce certificate. Han Qing was shocked. Duan Yi had hired her to gather evidence of Si Qian's infidelity after they were divorced, and Si Qian knew her motives but let it happen. Si Qian caught Han Qing inviting him downstairs for fruit. She thanked Si Qian for protecting her during the dangerous situation. In return, Han Qing revealed that Duan Yi was secretly having an affair with Wei Jun, Hua Jing's vice president. She said Duan Yi had threatened her father's life. Si Qian said he would help Han Qing save her father, on the condition that she helped him investigate. Wei Yun. Si Qian thought Wei Jun had ulterior motives in approaching Duan Yi. Han Qing asked Si Qian if he was hiding anything else. Si Qian said he knew Duan Yi had hired Han Qing, and between him and Duan Yi there was only exploitation and betrayal. But with Han Qing, he wanted to gamble on a partnership. Han Qing refused, not wanting to be exploited again. Han Qing returned to her life, going to congratulate a close friend on opening a campsite. Remembering Han Qing was the top student in their class, her friend regretted that she became a hunter of abusive husbands. Han Qing believed she wasn't doing anything against her conscience. Besides, this job provided a high income. Meanwhile, Wei Jun was angry that Duan Yi hadn't yet given him the shares. Duan Yi promised to get proof of Si Qian's infidelity. Afterward, she would give Hua Jing to her lover. That evening, Han Qing got drunk at her friend's campsite. Seeing a figure, Han Qing unconsciously cried. Seeing the figure turn away, Han Qing quickly hugged him. Unexpectedly, she mistook Zhang Yi for Si Qian. Thinking Han Qing was interested in him, Zhang Yi made a move on her. Si Qian arrived, asking why Han Qing hadn't answered her phone. She said what she did didn't concern Si Qian. Si Qian reminded her that Zhang Yi had left so he could talk to his assistant. He asked why she hadn't answered her phone, and instead came here with Zhang Yi. Hearing Han Qing beg for forgiveness, Si Qian said, "You haven't even caught the fish, and you're already reeling in the net?" Han Qing said that the sea wasn't short of fish like Si Qian. Checking her phone, she really had dozens of missed calls from Si Qian. Seeing Han Qing's distress, her friend advised her to find a man. Zhang Yi came to flirt again, but was subtly rebuffed by Han Qing. Si Qian went to Han Qing's house. He angrily asked where she had been and what she'd done with Zhang Yi. Jealous, he hugged her tightly. He wanted to know if Zhang Yi had been there. Han Qing seduced him. He admitted he'd fallen for her. Hearing her continued pleas, Si Qian lifted Han Qing onto a chair, intending to force himself on her, but she pushed him away. Si Qian confessed that from their first meeting, his eyes hadn't been able to leave her. Han Qing couldn't control herself around Si Qian, but her reason prevented her from giving in, so she pushed him away again. Duan Yi came to Hua Jing. It turned out that Secretary Zhao was her informant. Secretary Zhao promised to keep an eye on Han Qing for her employer. Han Qing snuck into Si Qian's office. She finally found the stamp. Seeing Secretary Zhao, Han Qing quickly left. She called Duan Yi, saying she'd gotten the stamp. Duan Yi arranged a meeting with Han Qing, but Wei Jun showed up instead. He advised Han Qing to choose her nest wisely. If she cooperated with him, Han Qing would benefit greatly, otherwise, her father would bear the consequences. Han Qing agreed to cooperate, on the condition that she call the shots. At Hua Jing's family party, Zhang Yi also attended. Wei Jun greeted Si Qian. He boasted that his share of Wan Li had surpassed Si Qian's. Wei Jun presented the appointment letter, announcing he'd be the new chairman of Wan Li Group, replacing Si Qian. Si Qian raised a toast to Wei Jun, and then had him arrested for stealing the company seal. Seeing Han Qing, Wei Jun realized he'd been set up. Angry, Du slapped Han Qing. When Mr. Yin questioned Si Qian, Han Qing explained herself, but Wei Jun accused her of stealing the seal to forge the appointment letter. Mr. Yin then showed Han Qing some intimate photos of her and Si Qian, throwing them in her face. His mistress advised Han Qing not to pursue the wrong man. She explained that to take over Mr. Yin's position, Xiqian had to marry Duan Yi and promise never to divorce her. Han Qing remembered Xiqian's promise that night. He'd set her and her father free if she cooperated. They'd planned this whole thing together to bring down Wei Jun. Han Qing suspected she was just a pawn in Xiqian's game. Zhang Yi stepped forward, claiming Han Qing as his woman. Xiqian asked Han Qing when she started dating Zhang Yi. Mr. Yin was furious that Xiqian and Zhang Yi were fighting over an outsider. Han Qing, heartbroken, left. Duan Yi was waiting for her in the car. When Duan Yi questioned her, Han Qing said that both Xiqian and Zhang Yi were using her. Han Qing didn't want to be involved in the Yin family's power struggle anymore, but Duan Yi wouldn't let her go easily. Han Qing revealed that she knew Duan Yi had divorced Xiqian. With her secret exposed, Duan Yi admitted she needed Han Qing's help to take down her ex-husband, otherwise Wei Jun would leave her. Duan Yi begged Han Qing for help, threatening to put her and her father in jail. Han Qing refused, unwilling to get deeper into the Yin family's fight or give her love to Xiqian. Xiqian found Han Qing and urged her to reconsider their relationship, saying Zhang Yi wasn't sincere. Han Qing sarcastically compared Xiqian to Zhang Yi, noting Xiqian didn't react when Mr. Yin bullied her. At least, Zhang Yi had publicly defended her. Xiqian said he knew Duan Yi sent Han Qing, but he kept her by his side. Why? Han Qing reminded Xiqian that their relationship was purely business. Xiqian admitted he and Duan Yi were already divorced. Mr. Yin wanted to use Han Qing to force Xiqian to remarry Duan Yi. Xiqian planned to use this opportunity to publicly announce his divorce from Zhang Yi. Unexpectedly, Zhang Yi appeared. Han Qing stated she already knew about Xiqian's divorce, but he'd never trusted her. Xiqian apologized for not telling her sooner. However, Han Qing just wanted to go back to her old life. Xiqian asked if she'd ever truly felt something for him. Han Qing affirmed she'd never had feelings for her clients. Xiqian said he'd helped her escape Duan Yi's control. He told her to take care of herself and left, leaving Han Qing heartbroken. She had to leave Xiqian to protect both of them, as they couldn't escape the Yin family's clutches. It turned out Mr. Yin had kidnapped Han Qing's father to force her to end things with Xiqian. A secretary informed Duan Yi that Han Qing had resigned. Su Li brought together the mistresses Han Qing had previously exposed to get revenge. They slandered Han Qing online. Su Li was pleased that Han Qing no longer had Xiqian's protection. Meanwhile, Xiqian sat down, while remembering Han Qing, when Zhang Yi came to visit his brother-in-law. Seeing Han Qing's resignation letter, he sarcastically said she'd moved on to Xiqian once Hua Jing was no longer a reliable support. Zhang Yi praised Xiqian for defying his father-in-law for a woman. Xiqian advised Zhang Yi to take care of the company amidst the chaos. He heard about Han Qing's troubles and rushed to find her. Han Qing grabbed a phone. She announced she helped women whose marriages had failed and who'd been cheated on. Su Li confronted Han Qing, claiming she'd been fired for interfering in the Hua Jing chairman's marriage. She tried to slap Han Qing, but Xiqian stopped her. He stated Han Qing had resigned, but he hadn't approved it, so she was still his employee. Han Qing thanked Xiqian for intervening. Xiqian said he came because he was worried she'd be bullied. Han Qing asked what right he had to protect her. He asked her to be Mrs. Sai. Xiqian unexpectedly kissed Han Qing. She pushed him away and turned to leave. She silently apologized to Xiqian for being unable to defeat Mr. Yin. It turned out Zhang Yi was behind Su Li's smear campaign against Han Qing. Han Qing's friend told her the videos were spreading online, along with pictures of her and Xiqian. Reporters arrived to interview Han Qing, accusing her of claiming to save marriages while stealing someone else's husband. Zhang Yi appeared and took Han Qing away. He'd traced the source of the online post to Duan Yi's house. At Duan Yi's house, Han Qing asked why she wouldn't leave her alone. Duan Yi said she would ruin Han Qing and Xiqian to avenge her lover and the share of the Yin family's assets given to Xiqian. He'd made her a nominal Mrs. Sai and also sent Wei Jun to jail. Duan Yi revealed Xiqian had fallen for Han Qing. A week earlier, he'd asked Mr. Yin to end the contract between Duan Yi and Han Qing. in exchange for continuing to be his puppet at Huajing. But he absolutely refused to remarry his ex-wife. Duan Yi wanted to destroy the person Si Qian loved. He arrived in time to stop her, but was cut on the face. Si Qian warned Duan Yi not to touch his woman. At home, Han Qing brought medicine to Si Qian. Seeing her tying her hair back, he quickly unbuttoned his shirt, revealing his chest. Han Qing gently cleaned his wound. She asked Si Qian if he was hurting, which touched his heart. He told her he was an orphan. Mr. Yin recognized Si Qian's abilities and arranged a fake marriage between him and his only daughter. When Huajing started to grow, Duan Yi tried everything to ruin him and drive him away. Holding Han Qing's hand, Si Qian confessed he had fallen in love with her. Han Qing couldn't resist his confession. She accepted the fate that brought him to her. Si Qian went to find Duan Yi and revealed he knew she was pregnant with Wei Jun's baby. He promised to get the baby's father out of jail, but Duan Yi had to meet one condition. Duan Yi sneered that Si Qian was just the Yin family's dog, so what right did he have to order her around? Si Qian reminded Duan Yi that her father valued profit and would side with the child who could create lasting wealth for him, not the daughter who only caused trouble. He demanded Duan Yi remove all information about Han Qing from the internet. The next day, Si Qian would hold a press conference announcing his divorce. Then, she and Wei Jun should leave Jiangcheng. At the press conference, Duan Yi admitted to spreading false information about Han Qing. She claimed Han Qing hadn't interfered in her marriage. Instead, she'd used Han Qing to test her husband's feelings. Hearing Si Qian plan to publicly announce their divorce, Duan Yi quickly stopped him. She announced she was pregnant with his child. Han Qing was stunned, staring at Duan Yi's ultrasound image. Si Qian pulled Duan Yi aside to confront her. She demanded Si Qian get Wei Jun out of jail and become the father of her child to secure its future. Otherwise, she would accuse Han Qing of using the pregnancy, forcing her to publicly retract her statements that Han Qing wasn't a mistress. To protect his loved one, Si Qian endured Duan Yi's charade. Meanwhile, Han Qing waited for Si Qian's explanation. Zhang Yi arrived, showing her pictures of Si Qian happily with his pregnant wife. Han Qing asked Zhang Yi why he kept pursuing her. He frankly stated he wanted to compete with Si Qian. Zhang Yi invited Han Qing to drink to relieve her sorrows. At a bar, Zhang Yi proposed marriage to Han Qing. He reasoned that since Si Qian chose Huajing over Han Qing, he would protect her. As Mrs. Lin, Han Qing would be a member of the Yin family, safe from harm. Knowing Zhang Yi intended to use her to seize Huajing, Han Qing flatly refused. He showed her recent news about Huajing. The Yin family announced they would leave all their shares to their child. Han Qing was furious, realizing she'd been played like a fool. He urged her to get justice for herself. Han Qing, enraged, decided to cooperate with Zhang Yi, becoming Mrs. Lin, safe from bullying. Meeting Si Qian, Zhang Yi announced his impending marriage to Han Qing. Seeing Mr. Yin, Zhang Yi invited everyone to the wedding next week. Duan Yi asked why he didn't need fame and fortune, and wanted Han Qing. Zhang Yi affirmed he didn't rely on women's power like his brother-in-law. Mr. Yin told everyone not to cause trouble at Duan Yi's birthday party. Privately meeting Han Qing, Si Qian explained Duan Yi was using the baby to threaten him. He'd gone to see Han Qing last night, but she was drinking with Zhang Yi. Han Qing interrupted, asking how he could demand her loyalty when he didn't prioritize her. Seeing Han Qing's intimacy with Zhang Yi, Si Qian also played the role of a loving husband with Duan Yi. Hearing Mr. Yin inquire about the Wanli real estate deal, Zhang Yi blamed Si Qian's investment, causing Huajing's stock to plummet. Si Qian revealed the crane driver involved in the accident had received 1 million yuan from an unknown source before the accident. Although he'd gone into hiding, Si Qian had found him. Mr. Yin gave Si Qian 1 month to resolve the crisis before Huajing's year-end settlement. Si Qian asked for only 1 week, on the condition of Han Qing's help. She had handled the press conference regarding the accident very well. Mr. Yin only cared about the results, leaving the methods up to Si Qian. Han Qing agreed to return as Si Qian's assistant. Back at the bar, Han Qing told Zhang Yi to drop the pretense. She knew he didn't like her, he just wanted to defeat Si Qian. Zhang Yi instructed Han Qing to use Si Qian to recover the Wanlai property and find the crane driver. Han Qing agreed, on the condition that after the matter was settled, Zhang Yi would ensure her complete separation from the Yin family. However, Zhang Yi developed feelings for Han Qing. She grabbed a bottle and hit him on the head. She reminded Zhang Yi that theirs was a mutually beneficial partnership. Han Qing officially returned to Huajing, demanding Si Qian call her. Madam. Si Qian called someone to measure Han Qing's ring size. She asked what her nephew meant by giving her a ring. He sarcastically remarked she was getting married without even a ring. Hearing they'd found the crane driver, Si Qian went to see him. Si Qian urged the driver to tell the truth, warning that if the mastermind was caught, the driver wouldn't survive. The driver said he'd never met the mastermind, only contacting them by phone. But he'd recorded their transaction and hidden the recorder in his apartment. Seeing the driver was hiding something, Si Qian smashed a bottle as a warning. The driver confessed he'd found a notebook at the construction site containing items related to the Wanlai real estate project, but he'd given it to the mastermind. Han Qing called Zhang Yi, giving him the driver's location. Taking the opportunity, she sneaked into his house to find evidence. Just as she received a call about Si Qian's accident, Zhang Yi unexpectedly returned. He knew Han Qing was pretending to break things off with Si Qian. It turned out she'd chosen to trust him that night. They teamed up to gather evidence of Zhang Yi's crimes. They went to Zhang Yi's house to search. After retrieving the notebook, Zhang Yi revealed Si Qian had been in an accident. He told Han Qing to stay put, otherwise, her father wouldn't survive. Hearing she only cared about Si Qian, a jealous Zhang Yi claimed Si Qian was dead. Han Qing looked for a way out. She discovered a secret underground room at the hospital. Duan Yi had investigated someone tampering with the brakes. She thought Si Qian had intentionally caused her father's car accident. It turned out Zhang Yi had tampered with the brakes. He'd had a lawyer prepare a will for Mr. Yin. If Mr. Yin died, his shares would transfer to Zhang Yi. Hearing Si Qian was out of danger, Zhang Yi ordered someone to ensure Si Qian wouldn't wake up. If Si Qian didn't die, he'd use Han Qing as a hostage. Knowing Han Qing was escaping, Zhang Yi sent people after her. Han Qing hastily got into a taxi, only to find Wei Jun was the driver. He revealed Si Qian had escaped the hospital before Zhang Yi's men arrived. Zhang Yi had used Han Qing to force Si Qian to reveal himself. Sure enough, Si Qian arrived and took Han Qing to escape. Wei Jun immediately gave chase. Meanwhile, Duan Yi, at the hospital, saw a picture of Wei Jun and went to find him. Meeting her lover, Duan Yi wanted to take him home. Wei Jun pushed Duan Yi away, accidentally causing a miscarriage. Si Qian punched the man, and Duan Yi fainted from the pain of losing her child. Seeing the police arrive, Si Qian and Han Qing took Duan Yi to the hospital. Duan Yi grieved over her loss. Si Qian's assistant reported Wei Jun had confessed to collaborating with Zhang Yi, luring Miss Yin to the construction site to use the baby to threaten Si Qian. Unexpectedly, the baby was his. Han Qing blamed Si Qian for risking his life to save her. Si Qian affirmed he would protect her, even at great cost, when they encountered Zhang Yi. He revealed Han Qing had asked him to plan revenge against Si Qian and Duan Yi. Zhang Yi was triumphant, having obtained Mr. Yin's shares. Si Qian laughed at Zhang Yi's misplaced confidence. Zhang Yi called the hospital and found Mr. Yin had disappeared. Back home, Si Qian heard Zhang Yi was buying up Huajing's shares. His shares were almost equal to Si Qian's. Before his accident, Mr. Yin had transferred all his shares to his daughter, so the fate of Huajing would depend on Duan Yi. Han Qing received a message from Duan Yi. She said she'd safely sent Han Qing's father abroad. Duan Yi stated the shares she held would decide who controlled Huajing. She would transfer the shares to Si Qian if Han Qing left him. After her failed relationship with Wei Jun, Duan Yi realized only profit was permanent. Si Qian was the one who could ensure Huajing's prosperity. If Han Qing refused, Duan Yi would destroy everything Si Qian had worked for. Seeing a message from Zhang Yi, Han Qing agreed to meet him. Zhang Yi revealed he'd given Duan Yi the location of Han Qing's father's hotel. What Duan Yi wanted was Si Qian, and what Zhang Yi wanted was Han Qing. Zhang Yi forced Han Qing to put a virus into Si Qian's computer. Otherwise, he would kill her father, her, and even Si Qian. A vision of Si Qian, bloodied and brutally beaten by Zhang Yi, flashed into Han Qing's dream. Worried, she rushed to find him. Meanwhile, Xiqian was at home, negotiating on the phone with Mr. Yin. When Han Qing arrived, she fearfully embraced Xiqian. Hearing her say she missed him, Xiqian gave her a heartfelt kiss. Duan Yi called, asking if Xiqian had sold all the real estate. She urged him to reconsider remarrying her, promising to transfer all her shares to him. Xiqian affirmed he would protect the woman he loved. Han Qing, having overheard from upstairs, quietly left. At home, Han Qing called Duan Yi to arrange a meeting. She decided to leave for Xiqian's sake. Han Qing knew that years ago, Huajing was saved from bankruptcy, thanks to Xiqian. Huajing represented his youth and passion. Han Qing didn't want Xiqian to sacrifice everything for her. They weren't from the same world. Duan Yi was deeply moved by Han Qing's feelings. She revealed that doctors had told her she couldn't have children, and that her parents had divorced when she was young. Despite her wealth, Mr. Yin hadn't given her love and affection. So when she met Wei Jun, she was moved by his care and attention. Even though he was using her, Duan Yi admitted she loved him deeply. The next day, Xiqian couldn't reach Han Qing. Zhang Yi arrived, saying she'd left for Xiqian's sake. Zhang Yi came to Xiqian, asking where Han Qing was. Xiqian asked what threats had driven her away. Zhang Yi said he wouldn't stand for Han Qing and Xiqian betraying him. His assistant still hadn't found Han Qing. He called a meeting with Huajing's shareholders. Zhang Yi used evidence of everyone's wrongdoings to force them to nominate him as Xiqian's replacement. To cover up their crimes, they had no choice but to congratulate Huajing's new chairman. Meanwhile, Xiqian used work to ease his longing for Han Qing. Early in the morning, he heard that Zhang Yi had called an emergency shareholder meeting. At the meeting, Zhang Yi blamed Xiqian's Wanli real estate project for causing major losses to Huajing. Xiqian's personal scandal also significantly affected the company. On behalf of Mr. Yin, Zhang Yi decided to hold a shareholder meeting to vote on replacing Xiqian as chairman. The shareholders, having been compromised, readily agreed. Xiqian appeared in time, presenting Zhang Yi with a gift. Recordings of Zhang Yi ordering someone to sabotage Xiqian's car brakes, causing an accident for him and Mr. Yin. There were also recordings of him threatening Han Qing to implant a virus into Xiqian's computer. The Wanli real estate incident also had an official report released explaining the cause of the construction site collapse. The crane driver admitted he'd followed Zhang Yi's orders to harm Xiqian. Furthermore, Xiqian had compiled a list of Zhang Yi's embezzlement and bribery over the years. He'd exploited Mr. Yin's trust to amass Huajing's assets. Zhang Yi revealed Xiqian had divorced Duan Yi, and Mr. Yin had transferred his shares to his daughter. Therefore, neither Xiqian nor Mr. Yin were qualified to be chairman. The police arrived to arrest Zhang Yi for embezzlement. Facing the shareholders, Duan Yi decided to transfer all her shares to Xiqian. With 51%, Xiqian remained chairman of Huajing. Mr. Yin appeared, scolding his daughter for not thinking things through. Duan Yi remembered that years ago, Xiqian had saved Huajing from bankruptcy. Xiqian spoke up, deciding to leave Huajing and return the shares to Duan Yi. He'd once believed that benefits created strong marriages. But after recent events, he realized that love gave people the motivation to overcome anything. Xiqian thanked Mr. Yin, but he wanted to live his own life. He had arrived empty-handed, and he wanted to leave the same way. Meanwhile, Han Qing moved, and flashbacks of sweet moments with Xiqian surfaced, causing her bittersweet pain. Meanwhile, Xiqian relentlessly searched for Han Qing. She was at a resort with a close friend, confiding that she'd lost something precious. Finally, Xiqian found her. He asked why she'd disappeared and left him alone. Han Qing, I miss you so much. I don't want to lose you, and I don't want you to forget me. I love you. Sometime later, Han Qing was once again the alluring assistant by Xiqian's side. Giving his girlfriend a ring, Xiqian insisted she become Mrs. C for life. So, did the hunter Han Qing finally succumb to her prey? Was Xiqian too skilled, or did love bring them together? Leave a comment and subscribe to watch the next film review on our channel.